Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, is there any of the principals that want to bring anything before the board? Okay, if not, Mr. Powell.
Thank you. I would like to first start with saying that we are currently working on plans for the reopening of schools. We did get some direction from the state office this past week. Looking at that, also met with principals and some of the supervisors on Monday with call meeting, and I know right now we are putting some things together, and we kind of start getting these details down as to what we can do and the direction we'd like to go, because we always want to get y'all's approval. So hopefully within the next week or so, we might be more prepared to get you something there. Also, that I know Mr. Bond's been doing some things with an online survey that we are going to survey our parents and students to kind of get some direction and feedback from them. And then we can also incorporate that into our plans also too. Working on 3, possibly 4 types of plans right now as we start to reopen. Of course, the best scenario is just fully reopen. And then we're going to have that as a plan, but we'll also have a plan for an AEB schedule, a plan for an online schedule, a plan for maybe an AB and online, a plan for distance learning. We're looking at a lot of scenarios right now, folks, and it's going to be a big undertaking, but I've got a terrific group that is working diligently right now, and we will have something for the board to look at probably the next week, maybe 2, before we get at least into July, or it has some kind of concrete you guys look at and approve. Also, with the CARES Act, thank you for coming out, Coach. You had some great input that day with it. Right now, we're still trying to finalize some of those, how we're going to spend the money with the CARES Act, direction we want to go. We looked at, I know you guys have mentioned the one-to-one computers and those type of things. We have looked at that. We've looked at buying a fleet. We've looked at some distance learning. We're going to start finalizing that within the next 4 to 5 days. I think it's got to be turned in by the 15th. We looked at some personnel stuff that we could do. So we have a lot of great ideas and stuff on how we can utilize this funding. But the biggest thing I think is to help us prepare, just in case we have to go back on to a distance learning or an online learning type situation. We had did as good as we could last year when this hit, but we want to be better prepared in case we have to start with this. We don't want to just enrich, guys. We want to get some full contact lessons in case we got to go online. And we know that it's not going to, everyone's going to be able to do what the plan is. But we're going to try to touch as many possibly as we can, and then work individually with those ones that can't. So we're going to try to do the best that we can, guys. That I do promise you. We are going to be prepared for the scenarios coming forward. One thing we'd like to announce too, that we did name a basketball coach for Scott High School girls, Coach Jacob Wright. Coach Jake Wright comes to us recently as the Cleveland State Community College girls basketball assistant coach, and we're very excited to add Jacob to our team and to the Scott High family. So we're excited to get that up and running and off the ground. And guys, that's all I have. Unless y'all have any questions for me.
Okay, that brings us to item number 5, adoption of the agenda. In accordance with board policy number 1.403, the Scott County Board of Education should adopt an agenda of all items to be acted on during the regular monthly meeting of June 11th, 2020. May I have a motion to approve the July 11th, 2020 agenda?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on roll call.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Mr. Silcox?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Sharp?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. Abbott?
Aye.
Mr. Sexton?
Item 6, consent agenda items. In accordance with the Scott County Board of Education policy number 4.403, the Board of Education may include routine and non-controversial items on a consent agenda, which may be adopted by a single vote without discussion. Any item on the consent agenda may be removed and placed on the regular agenda for further consideration at the request of any board member. May I have a motion to approve the items listed on the consent agenda as follows? A, approval of the minutes for May the 14th, 2020, and special call meeting on May the 21st of 2020. B, approval of the bills and financial report for April of 2020.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Silcox?
Aye.
Ms. Sharp?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. Abbott?
Aye.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Mr. Sexton?
Item 7A, use of school facilities. The Huntsville Volunteer Fire Department has asked permission to use the Huntsville Middle School football field as the base of operation for detonating fireworks during the Fireman's Fourth Festival planned for July the 4th of 2020. May I have a motion to allow the Huntsville Volunteer Fire Department to use the Huntsville Middle School football field as a site for detonating fireworks during the Fireman's Fourth Festival on July the 4th of 2020. Permission will be subject to the town of Huntsville producing evidence of adequate liability insurance coverage of the Huntsville Middle School during the event and a signed agreement that all debris will be cleared from the area following the close of the festival.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Ms. Sharp?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. Abbott?
Aye.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Mr. Sexton? Mr. Silcox?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Item 7B, approve Alqui agreement. The Children's Health and Maintenance Plan is administered through the Alqui organization and provides dental screenings for students in the Scott County school system. Alqui is requesting access to student TCAP and attendance data in order to analyze the relation of dental scores to school performance. May I have a motion to approve the Children's Health and Maintenance Plan agreement with Alqui for the 2020 to 2021 school year?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Sexton?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Silcox?
Aye.
Ms. Sharp?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. Abbott?
Aye.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Item 7C, approved behavioral contract. The Scott County School District needs to contract with Dara Klein, PhD, to provide the behavioral management services for special education children. May I have a motion to contract services with Dara Klein, PhD, to provide behavioral management services for special education children referred to her by the special education supervisor. The contract will begin August the 1st of 2020 until May the 30th of 2021.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Silcox?
Aye.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Mr. Sexton?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Sharp?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. Abbott?
Aye. Item 7D, bids for related services. Bids were opened at the Finance Committee meeting and referred to the board for their consideration. May I have a motion to approve the following contracts for special education related services for the 2020-2021 school year as recommended by the special education supervisor and the director of schools. Speech, Grace Rehab, Scott High and Winfield Elementary. Curley Communications, Birchfield Elementary, Fairview Elementary, Huntsville Elementary Middle, and Robbins Elementary. OT and PT, Grace Rehab.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Silcox?
Aye.
Ms. Sharp?
Aye. Aye.
Ms. Kidd, Ms. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Item 7E, out-of-state overnight trips. In accordance to board policy number 4.302, board approval is needed for out-of-state overnight school trips. May I have a motion to grant permission for the following out-of-state overnight trips? School board members, TSBA Annual Convention and Leadership Conference, November the 12th through the 15th of 2020 in Nashville, Tennessee.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Kidd,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Mr. Silcox,
Aye.
Ms. Sharp.
Item 7F, approve application. The Scott County Board of Education needs to approve the application and budgets for the 2020-2021 school year. May I have a motion to approve the following budget applications, grants, and authorize the superintendent director to file any necessary budget revisions, addenda, or amendment requests. Coordinated School Health District application and budget for the 2020-2021 school year.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Silcox,
Aye.
Ms. Kidd,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Sharp.
Item 7G, renew bid. In accordance with the Scott County Board of Education policy number 2.806, concerning bids and quotations, all purchases of supplies, materials, equipment, and contractual services in excess of $10,000 shall be based on competitive bids. May I have a motion to renew the bids with Smart Mouth Pizza for pizza products for the food service department?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Sharp,
Aye.
Ms. Kidd,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Mr. Silcox.
Aye.
Item 7H, Dollar General Literacy Grant. The Dollar General Foundation has awarded the Scott County School System a Literacy Foundation grant. These funds will be used for literacy activities. May I have a motion to accept the Dollar General Literacy Foundation grant in the amount of $8,000 for Scott High School and $8,000 for Huntsville Elementary School?
I make that motion. Second.
Any discussion? Waiting on the roll call.
Ms. Kim,
Aye.
Ms. Sharp,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Silcox,
Aye.
Mr. Sexton,
Aye.
Mr. Stanley,
Aye.
Ms. Abbott.
Aye. Okay, before we go to the next item, Mr. Silcox, do you have anything? Got Diane?
I don't.
Has another CARES Act meeting been scheduled?
Not yet. I can get with Ms. Amanda in the morning if you would like to meet again. I mean, 'cause-
Well, no, I
yeah,
don't
but we
know.
have not scheduled another one as far as that. Ms. Amanda, are you on? Let's just turn it in about 15.
I am.
Okay.
It's due June 30th, so we have time to do another meeting if you all want to.
Good. Yeah, I'd like to. So I'll get with you. I'll get.
It just turned out to be a bad day for several of us
Yeah.
who had wanted to attend.
I'll get with her in the morning. And I'll get with you guys so that we can meet. Because you guys need input with this.
Did you have anything?
Just two things. Mr. Hall, I'll send you an updated agreement with the town of Huntsville tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll send that to Mayor Jeffries as well.
Okay.
And just to let everybody know, you may already be aware of this, I'm sure Mr. Hall is, but I anticipate the county commission will vote on Monday night on the countywide budget, which will also include the school budget. So just want to let you know.
And with that being said, of course, we may have to revise ours already because the governor did take the increase for the state raises is out. So I was hoping to get a revision today. It did not. So as soon as I get that, then I'll get with Amanda. We may have to already start with an amendment to ours.
Well, I know it's on the agenda.
Yeah.
For Monday.
And I
night.
told Ginger, so it's on demand also too, so they're aware.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Kim, did you have anything? Okay, with that, item 7I, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
A second.
Second.
Waiting on the roll call.
Mr. Silcox?
Aye.
Ms. Kidd?
Aye.
Ms. Abbott?
Aye.
Mr. Stanley?
Aye.
Mr. Sexton? Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Sharp?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.